right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Clark International Speedway. And we're privileged to have with us today Mr. Steven Tan, President of Mazda Philippines. First of all, thank you for inviting us to this special event, which you see on my cap, the MSCC MIATA Spec Series. Now, you might think, what is it all about? Let us ask Steven himself. Steven, what can you please share with our viewers what the MSCC MIATA Spec Cup is all about?
It's part of the global community of the Spec Miata, except for here we have kind of collaborate with Manila Sports Car Club, and they have adopted for the inaugural year to run the track.
Now, of course, a lot of people, I'm sure, know about the MIATA Cup. Now, how do you differentiate the two then? For those who are not familiar probably, and have only heard about the MIATA Cup.
Yeah, they work together really well. The MIATA Cup has been in existence for 15 years now. They've been racing it under the club. It's part of the genetic of the MIATA Club. If you have a MIATA Club, then naturally you want to have a track day. It's the same everywhere around the world. They always have a track day or they have a fun run. The formula here is that a Spec Miata is a one make. That means all the cars are identical, same power, stock engine, stock transmission. We collaborated with Cusco and Sparco to build a really high quality car that is on the track and also good on the road. So it has a kind of a dual personality. It's very fast on the track. It will run with the best of the best in that category, but it's also very nice to drive on the road. So if you're kind of too track oriented, it's not as comfortable on the road because the surfaces are different. But so the appeal is on they can drive on the track and compete have a one-week race like we have today, or they can take it home and drive it around and share it with the children, they share it with the spouse.
Yeah.
That's been happening really well. Whereas the MIATA Cup is totally all-class stuff. You know, MIATA Club Philippines is 25 years old this year, and they're made out of like different generations of the MIATA. So you can't really do a one make in that class. So they run it in their own formula of time bracket, which is what they do today. But I think what makes me the most fulfilled today is that both clubs are running on the same day, just on different grid. So there's a lot of camaraderie and festivities around today's event.
For Mazda itself, like moving forward, what sort of course, the MIATA Spec Series, this is one thing. What else can folks out there or the fans of the brand look forward to now that the economy is sort of opening up?
I think we go through stages in our maturity, and as part of the brand journey, I came in 10 years ago. So this year, in a couple of months, would be our 10th anniversary or my 10th year in the Philippines. And
congratulations! Happy anniversary!
Yeah, and I immediately engaged the club because I feel that for a brand like Mazda, engagement with the users, engagement with the customer is really important. We are the kind of a brand that thrives on engagement, enjoyment of the product, getting together and sharing the same experience. And I would say MIATA Club and then the Spec Series is another extension, another part of the journey, or you can say another step forward in terms of our journey and engaging the brand or evangelize the brand to a different group of people. The Manila Sports Car Club are made up of sports car collectors, unlike the MIATA Club Philippines, which is a one-make sports car club, whereas the Manila Sports Car Club is a multi-brand, multi-make sports car. I mean, they have the definition. So MIATA becomes part of the family of who they know in it. So there's a lot of symbiotism in between these two clubs.
And reaching more people, right? I mean, not the traditional fans of the brand.
Yeah, and reaching more people. And if you think about it, I say, why would the MIATA be so popular? You know, like you said, it's two-door, 2 seats, open top, small. I would say not practical, right? If I describe it, but it's been extremely successful. You know, Philippines has the honor of having the largest MIATA population outside Japan in Asia.
Wow, seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, only Japan is larger. I mean, in all the countries that we have, like including even China, like nobody is bigger than China in anything, but in terms of MIATA, we have a larger population than China.
And we're here today with Mr. Randy del Valle of Pilipinas Shell. Now, pardon us if you hear that, because we're here at the Clark International Speedway for the very first edition of the MSCC MIATA Spec Series. It's going to be a 4-leg series. Now, Pilipinas Shell is one of the sponsors. Probably are you the title sponsor?
Yes, we're a partner actually.
You're a partner. Okay. So Randy, first off, congratulations to you guys. Please tell us about the involvement of Shell here.
Okay, so in Shell, we're very proud to partner with Mazda, the Manila Sports Car Club, and even the Miata Club to really bring racing into reality after pandemic. So it's been like a very long 2 years, but it's so glad that we can meet a lot of passionate people, passionate about their cars, and also us passionate about our fuel to really actually give the best power to everyone. So I think this is about powering progress, powering for everyone on this post-pandemic times.
What's Shell's direct involvement in this endeavor?
Yeah, so again, together with Steven Tan, who's actually the brainchild of this Miata Spec Series, we wanted to actually really partner with like brands like Mazda. Mazda has been our partner for 10 years, so part of the collaboration was really into like we were discussing like how can we actually bring race into a reality. And we're very passionate about our Shell V-Power brand, which is like, I would say, the best fuel here in the market. And it's actually the same fuel that actually powers a lot of our cars globally too.
So you mentioned V-Power fuels. What actually is powering these cars in the background?
Yeah, so we actually have the Shell, it's purely powered by Shell V-Power. And that's really a partnership with Mazda, and we're really thankful for Mazda for really recommending Shell in all their Mazda vehicles. And not only that, we also have the Shell Helix brand that actually lubricants the engine. So it's really powered by Shell, so a true partnership between Mazda and Shell.
So you might say the lifeblood of these vehicles and what powers them is basically Shell.
Indeed.
What else can we expect from Shell in the coming months, maybe for the rest of the year?
Yeah.
Are there some things that you can share with the public right now?
Yeah, so I think in Shell, apart from this race series, we're actually really venturing into a lot of mobility as well. So in Shell, we introduced mobility. So there's a lot of things that we've opened a lot of mobility stations. And mobility stations are not just like gas stations. So the vision for Shell that we launched last year is that we're not just a gas station, but we're a mobility station where we become a destination for everybody that moves. So it's not just about the cars that are moving, the trucks or motorbikes that we've been serving for a long time. So we actually have around 1,100 stores already nationwide, but all the sites that we've been building are shifting towards mobility. Mobility means it's not just a fuel station, there's actually a convenience store, there's probably some clip-in, there's a servicing, there's a car wash. So there's a lot of things that we're doing. So all the sites that we're building are mobility, and we're renovating a lot. So I would actually say the pure mobility that we have is actually more than 30 already around the Philippines. So I do encourage, you'll probably see a lot of transformation from our mobility stations. And I think from your audience here, like, because it's not just for the normal vehicles, but I know that there's a lot of car clubs, there's motorbike clubs, etc.
Yes.
So we wanted to partner with you. So any of those car clubs, do reach out to us, because we are a place of destination. We're not just there to gas up. So it might be a place that you can actually start with and become a destination as well. So there's going to be ample parking, ample offers for everyone everyone.
Thank you very much, Randy. And we look forward to all the good stuff that Shell is going to roll out. And congratulations on this endeavor. Let's go watch the race again, okay?
If you're here and you understand the culture of who we are as a nation, the population, the people who we are, we love cars, you know.
Amen.
And we love sports cars, and we talk about cars all the time. So get a group of people together, especially like boys or guys together. They may talk about things, and then eventually everything leads to cars. Because of the passion around cars, cars are not just a mobility device to take you from point A to point B. Car is an expression of who you are, what you like, what your values are. Not to be like, oh, I'm the fastest car or the best looking car. It's not. It's just like, who am I, and what's my car? So in terms of Miata, a lot of people put their hand in. This is who I am.
Yeah.
I love driving, and this car gives me joy. And the Miata is not
driver's car.
It's not a driver's car, and it's not particularly expensive. So that's always been the principle or philosophy of Miata, that it's not supposed to be an expensive sports car. Easy to maintain, anybody can own one, and it's a shared value car.
What's the vision for Mazda Philippines for this series? You're gonna have 4 legs, right?
Yeah.
Are there plans to possibly grow it? Are you going to evolve it? But definitely, I'm sure that the appetite and the excitement is there. What are, like, if you can share with us some of the plans, perhaps moving forward with the events that you're planning to hold for Mazda?
Yeah, one thing that I've learned in life is all plan changes all the time. Right? It's like if you're going to stick with the plan and say this is what we're going to do, and not allow the change, you're going to get frustrated. However, you must have a plan. So in my mind, when we started this project 3 years ago, I really had no idea it was going to take off. Because
you were planning in the middle of the pandemic.
I was planning before the pandemic. The pandemic, like all things, put a pause to it. And I think that pause was a blessing because at the end, like towards the middle of the pandemic, I'm a member of the Manila Sports Car Club, and they were thinking about, if we are a sports car club, why don't we have a race series? And they posed the question that says, it makes perfect sense for us to collaborate. So once we begin that journey, and they've been an extremely good partners to work with in terms of the membership, making the rules, developing the car, and so here we are today. And how will it evolve? I think several ways will evolve. It's like, as the club experience in driving the series matured, and more people come in, we may have to spin off like 2 different classes, one for beginners and one for novice, because putting them on the same grid frustrate both groups, right? And could become like a safety thing. But we said we were very pragmatic about it. We said first year is a learning year. Let's not set ourselves too high or expect too much, because then we
just
will
manageable expectations.
Yeah, learn. Like for example, like this weekend we race. Next week we have a dialogue and we say, okay guys, what did we learn from this? What worked? What didn't work? What would you like to change? And then you do it again and again, and then one day it's like, hey, this thing works pretty well. Everybody knows what they're doing, and the less question that we just concentrate on like driving is part of the DNA of the sports car club.